Alright, today I got a good one. It's a little different from what I usually do, but like I said, up and coming entrepreneurs is definitely what we got to put more shine on in our community. Today I got my man with me, Sugaray.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, straight out of Queensbridge.
Yes,
Definitely
sir.
a Queensbridge OG coming up.
Appreciate you.
My boy is different. He's not really a musician, I think. Maybe on the low, but as far as everything, he's entrepreneur, actor, activist, mental health, vegan. So we're gonna get into everything in this interview. From here, we're gonna jump into your documentary. It was American Hero.
Yep.
You could just get in from right there.
Yeah, man. So American Hero was cool. You know, short documentary, 12 minutes. I did with a NYU film student. You know, we connected last summer, last fall. And she had to do a final project for school, and she decided to do a story on me. And in the documentary, you know, we spoke about me being shot. We spoke about me going to prison for a shooting. We spoke about, you know, my relationship with my mom not being so great. We spoke about my life in the streets a little bit, you know. Then we spoke about my transformation, you know, and we showed my transformation, how, you know, every week for 2 years here in Queensbridge, I've been giving out vegan food. Me and my partner Miles, my aunt. Understanding that food plays a huge impact not only in our physical health, but in our emotional health, our mental health, and how we respond to each other. You know, I remember, you know, regular American, black American kid growing up in the hood, eating all of the food. I remember pals, I used to eat pig feet out the store. You know what I mean? But then I also remember, you know, doing things and not knowing why I did them. So like, you know, I was hustling young. And I was always making money, and so I remember vividly, I think I had like $800 in my pocket one time, and I robbed the pizza man. Like, why did I rob the pizza man? I could have bought the pizza, right? But it was impulsive, and looking back, I realized that a lot of us, when we do things, and our parents or teachers or whoever be like, yo, why'd you do that? And you're like, yo, I don't know. We really don't know. It's just something inside of us that says, do this thing right now.
And do it.
And do it. And I look back and I realized that a large part of that is food. You know what I mean? Like, we are what we eat, and so acting like animals because we're eating dead animals that are being tortured. You know, so I made the decision to, like, I made the commitment to start to just change my lifestyle. You know, I didn't go into it like when I changed my life and stopped hustling, and got out the streets. I was still eating meat, so it wasn't like I said, I'm changing all this. It was like, I just want to be better. I just want to create a better life for myself. I want to be healthier, and I want to live good and long.
All right. So we're going to backtrack because you definitely just gave me a little blueprint of your upbringing in a short term. So I'm going to take little pieces of what you said and just reflect on it. So you said the American History documentary is basically... American Hero documentary is basically a reflection of your upbringing and things you went through in your life. You said you were shot and you said you went to jail. Take me to before that, like what got you to that point in life?
So my dad passed when I was 11, you know, and my dad was great. Like, my dad was my best friend. Like, we went skiing. My dad took me on all kinds of trips, cross-country trips, out of the country trips, you know what I mean, flights and all of the stuff. And he passed. Now, it's important. Like, when he passed, my life changed. I was 11, but even before he passed, I was getting in trouble in school. I was fighting, you know what I mean. But I had dreams. I had hope. Right, because growing up in the hood, we fight. That's one thing that we do, right? You know, our parents teach us, don't take no shit, and we don't take no shit. And you know, I graduated elementary school, PS 111, June '95, and my dad died August '95, and then my older sister died April '98. So 3 years I lost my father and my sister, and so now I'm depressed. Like, now I have no hope. Like, my best friends, the people who I could go to for emotional support, all right? Because my mom, she's great, but she really wasn't the emotional supporter. You know what I mean? She wasn't the ones like, oh, you don't feel so great? Tell me why. That was my dad and my older sister. My mom was like, you don't feel so great? Figure this shit out. Get it together, right? And it's cool. It works.
That plays a role, though.
It does. No, it does. Like I said, they both have different times that they work. Because, you don't feel great, but you still got to get it together. However, you also got to start to understand why you don't feel so great, especially if it's a pattern and it's impeding your schoolwork, is impeding your life, your relationships. You gotta address it. And so my dad passed, and then I started selling drugs, and I started smoking weed regularly, and I started drinking, and realistically, I had a death wish. Like, I remember crying for the strength to kill myself.
Oh man, what the fuck?
Because I wanted to be where my dad was. Guys, because my mother was the one who beat me, and I was like, I don't want to get hit no more. I'd rather go where my dad is at. Why you take my dad and not my mom? Those type of conversations in my head.
Yeah, this angry thoughts as a child though.
Mm-hmm. No, absolutely.
You can't really express yourself no other way as a child, especially in our environment and our
100%.
circumstances.
100%. So yeah, man, my teenage years, man, drinking, smoking, thugging, fucking guns and drugs and all of that shit. And I was 19 years old, and I was gambling. I used to gamble a lot. CeeLo, I used to always win. Right, I was a big winner. And I remember I won a lot of money from this dude, and then he asked bet me. Right, the last couple of hundred, he asked bet me. And so he was a grown up. You know what I mean? He was 28, I was 19. So he tried to thug me, and I was like, I'm not with that shit. And so after months went on, I stopped liking him. And then I did the same thing back to him. I asked bet him, and he didn't like it. And then we had a fight. And then he came back and shot me like an hour and a half later.
That's crazy.
But I was telling a story the other day because I'm a gangster and I respect gangster shit. He knocked on my door looking for me. I wasn't there. My mother told me after. He knocked on my door. He wasn't disrespectful to my mother. He was looking for me. Knocked on the door and was like, yo, it's such and such here. My mother was like, no, who are you? He was like, I'm such and such. Tell him I came by. My mother said he was very respectful. Yeah. Right? And he shot me. I was sitting with my friends. I was sitting with ASAP. I was sitting with Dip. I was sitting with my man Stress. I was sitting with Spank. And I was sitting with God Bless D-Block. Yeah. And he came out the building behind us and shot me. And I respected, not being shot, right? But he could have shot from a distance. Yeah. He could have shot one of my friends by accident. Yeah, but he didn't. And that's gangster shit. Yeah. And I went to jail a year later for a shooting. And then he ended up getting killed. And I knew that's when my life was changing, because when he got killed, at first I was happy. Yeah. But then like in my mind, and I was locked up already, I was like, yeah, that's another black man still. You should never be happy that a black man is dead. And
just to make it clear, you had nothing to do with that.
No, I had nothing to do with it. I was in jail already. I went to
the fascists now. So.
I went to jail for another shooting, and then he got killed.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And yeah, man, like he was a warrior, you know, and I wish that, like, which is why I work towards, like, we gotta have warriors in our community, you know what I mean, to protect us, to defend us, because people violate us all the fucking time. And I just wish that, and I hope that my friends and younger people realize that there's nothing wrong with being a warrior, but you gotta be a warrior for the right cause. Don't be a warrior against your people. We are the same people. We going through the same fucking struggle, and we violating each other. Yeah. And that shit is whack.
But it takes a leader to really like train some warriors to go against the what things been taught to be afraid of, you know?
100%. And that's why I'm here, and that's why, like, again, I don't live here no more. My mom still does. I've had many opportunities to go to other states and do this work and on a higher level, and I'm like, nah, because no matter where I go, Queensbridge is home, and I need to get this shit a little better before I really start branching out. You know what I mean? So I'm committed to my hood, man. I'm committed to you. I'm committed to all of my brothers and sisters, like, because we great. You know what I mean? I just want us to realize how great we are. And in our pain, we can turn that shit into our power.
So, how long did it take you to really get like on path with the positive stuff? And, you know, because it's never overnight.
No, it's never overnight. And so it's, again, a funny story. Like, my life is really funny because at 7 years old, I knew what I wanted to do. I knew I wanted to make movies, write books, travel, right? And clearly, it didn't happen right away, right? But even when I was in trouble, like in high school, right? I got kicked out of high school at 15, but I used to rewrite Martin episodes and have my classmates act them out. You know what I mean? I started college, right? At 17, I got my GED, went to college. I'm still selling drugs. I'm still outside hustling. But I'm taking theater in school, and I'm making fucking masks for my theater class. Yeah. You know what I mean? So I never let go of the dream. I never let go of the vision of film, TV, and all of that shit. But I came home in 07. I was on parole 18 months. The whole 18 months I hustled. And I used to go to parole. I was living in Long Island. I used to go to parole sometimes because I knew my PO didn't search me. I knew my PO didn't do urine tests. Where I lived at was a really nice fucking neighborhood. And he knew that. He knew my family because my older brother was in prison, right? Yeah. And so I used to go because I used to leave Long Island and come to Queensbridge. I used to go to parole with my gun and my drugs because I knew he wouldn't search me. Crazy. You know what I mean? And mind you, I'm respectful. My pants are not sagging, so I don't look like the stereotype.
Yeah, average gangster. Average hood dude.
Average hood dude. And I'm smart, I'm educated, I'm articulate. You know what I mean? But the whole time I was on parole, I hustled, I sold drugs, I carried a gun. Literally, I finished parole September 2008. I stopped hustling November 2008. Yeah. My first video camera I bought from a crackhead. I bought from a crackhead and I turned the crack studio. Ask Fetty. Fida will tell you, I turned the crack house into a film studio on my block.
How you do that?
Because I was renting a crack house, I was still selling drugs, right? Renting a crack house, bought a video camera. So now I'm hustling, but I'm already thinking like I'm about to leave this shit alone. You know what I mean? I'm about to go into this shit. I don't know what I'm gonna do exactly, but I'm gonna go into it. Halloween 2008, I went to B&H Photo. I spent like $3 grand. I bought green screen, I bought lights, I bought costumes, I bought mad shit. Damn. And I turned the crack house into a film studio. We had fucking floodlights, like a green screen, white screen, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
and props and shit like that. And we used to shoot. I got footage on my old MySpace page in that crack house.
So, like, what you made out of that? Like, what, like videos?
Skits, just funny skits, just talking shit, man. Just.
I was way back in the day.
It's 2008, 2009, you know what I mean? And it's crazy because I was just uploading to MySpace at first. I didn't even know about YouTube. I was just like, had a MySpace page, I was like, upload to MySpace. And then my boy was like, yo, get a YouTube. Boogie told me, like, yo, get a YouTube. I got a YouTube.
YouTube came like 2010, I think.
And that's what,
2009.
2009. And I monetized in 2010. I got a fucking $40-something check from YouTube, bro. But mind you, I'm not even thinking. I just know that, like, I'm a content creator. I got vision. I like to make funny shit. I like to make real shit that make people think. But I was influenced by people in my family. It was like, yo, you a young man. This ain't no real money. You just walk around with this camera. Ain't no life in this.
Yeah,
do something
really
different.
Yeah.
And I got discouraged. But now, looking back, if I would have stuck with it, people's making millions of dollars creating fucking content.
Way ahead of the game.
I was way ahead of the game. So you know what? It's like, okay, don't be upset. Get back to it. I got mad at quitting. I got mad because I've never stopped doing it. You know what I mean? Part of the fight was figuring out how do I blend my art, because I'm an artist at core. Like, so I've written books, I've made films, I've acted in films, I've written films, I've directed and produced films. Films, music videos. I'm an all-around artist. I'm a poet. You know what I mean? But I was like, how do I blend my art with my activism? You know what I mean? And it was a long time, but I figured it out now. You know what I mean? Number one, art is activism. What you're doing right now is activism. It's art, it's media. Is being active in your community, giving a platform. You know what I mean? That's all I want to do.
That's what I want to do too. I just give everybody in the neighborhood a little platform. You know what I'm saying? Everybody get a little shine. Everybody can see what's going on.
Yes, sir.
A lot of people don't even know what's going on, like in Queens, period. So right now, I'm just trying to shine a light on everybody out here in Queens, whether you rap, entrepreneur, whatever you do, shoot.
100%. And entrepreneurship is so like it's so powerful, right? I've been an entrepreneur my whole life. The video store used to be on the hill. I used to buy and sell video games. You know what I mean? We had I grew up. I called the end. We had a penny store on 48th Avenue. I used to buy penny candy and sell it to the kids from Ravenswood, right, in elementary school for 5 cents because they didn't have the penny store. You know what I mean? So like from young, I've been a hustler. I've been an entrepreneur, and we still here, man. We still are creating revenue, right, and building economically on my own terms, and that's what it's about.
So backtrack a little bit.
Yes, sir.
You said the food can make you react in certain ways. I heard that somewhere else though, but I want, now that you're saying that, you can speak on that right now. How you feel like the foods make people react? I understand some sugars, but give me a little more detail.
It's real, man. Number one, understand like think about the average child, right? Average child going to school, right? You wake up in the morning, you know what I mean? You eat cereal, you eat your bacon, your eggs, right? You eat your regular typical American diet, right? You go to school, right? Now, mind you, that's mostly sugar, right? Most of that, the pancakes, the eggs, is the pancake especially is flour, it breaks down starch, breaks down to white sugar, right? So now it's in your body. So now you go to school, children are hype in the morning, but what happens? They crash by midday.
So
you crash, so now when you crash, you're not focused, you know what I mean? You're not retaining information the same, you're irritated, you know what I mean? Imagine think about yourself, when we eat, and we eat something that gets us up, and then we feel like this. Like, don't talk to me, don't bother me, leave me alone, get out my face. So that's one way. Not only that is, you are what you eat, right? And so we like to say, you know, our grandparents ate, you know what I mean, pig, and they ate this stuff down south. It's like, understand, they did. The food is different now. You know what I mean? They are pumping these animals with all types of chemicals, all types of hormones, growth hormones. So the animals are bigger than they've ever been. Even some of the vegetables are bigger than they've ever been. So now you're eating that, you're ingesting that.
Like the fucking BBQ chicken wings.
BBQ chicken, this is huge.
Wow.
This is brown. Like, why? No real chicken has wings that big. You know what I mean? So it's like understanding how, and not only are we digesting and ingesting the chemicals that's in the food, the GMOs, right? Genetically modified organism. What is that doing to us? It's genetically modifying us. We're an organism too. Not only that, these animals are being slaughtered and tortured, right? Which is why you have the concept of halal, right? It's sacrificing animals, praying over the animals before they're killed, right? That's a different energy than when you catch the animal and you got the shit in the slaughterhouse and you're beating the shit with a bat and you're beating it with a hammer. And so the animal is screaming, the animal is in fear. Now, that energy is ever present in that animal. So now we eat that. Now we take on that same energy, that same essence.
But you saying since they pray over it, they don't beat it to death?
No, it's different. It's a different sacrifice. The praying over is like killing them with compassion.
Yeah.
So now you don't need to beat the animal to death. Slaughter, you can slit the throat. You know what I mean? There's other things you could do to kill an animal besides having that shit hanging up and hitting that shit with a fucking sledgehammer.
Yeah, I guess.
You know what I mean? Like, that's brutal. Like, you don't have to do that. You know what I mean? There's other ways you can do it if you're gonna eat meat. Me, again, I choose not to eat meat because I think even if you do pray over it and stuff like that, you're still taking on the energy of the animal, right? And not only that, if you look in nature, the gorilla is the strongest land animal. It's vegetarian.
Yeah.
The elephant, the African elephant, is the biggest land animal. It's a vegetarian. And the fucking turtle, it's the longest living animal, and it's a vegetarian. So it's like, if I want to live long, if I want to be stronger, and if I want to be bigger, I don't have to eat meat. That shit is a lie. And there's athletes right now who don't eat meat who are performing at the top of the game.
I mean, I don't know, cause I went like a good little 60 days without eating meat.
Mm-hmm.
And I ain't really see the difference, you know what I'm saying? I'm still performing at a high level, doing whatever I do.
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't know, give me a little more detail into that. Like,
I mean,
like what kind of like saying you're vegan, like you're a vegan,
yes,
right? So what kind of diet do vegans have? Like, because I know my man had like carrots for bacon or some weird stuff like that.
You can do that. I've never done the carrot thing as bacon.
And what else to do? I had a fake chopped cheeseburger. I forget what they put, like tofu or something.
Tofu, probably tofu,
yeah,
mushroom.
I'm like, they going crazy.
So it's different things you could do. Understand, just vegan is just no meat, right? No meat, no dairy, right? So rice is vegan, right? Potatoes are vegan, right? All of the vegetables, obviously, you know, spinach, you know, Swiss chard, carrots, celery. So it's like, you want to put the best fuel in your body. You buy a car, right? You buy a car, you buy a fucking Ferrari. If they tell you to only put certain gas in your car, or you'll fuck it up, you're only gonna put that gas in your car.
Right.
But the human body, which is the best machine ever created, we put trash in our body, right? Mm-hmm. So again, vegan is a touchy thing, right? Because vegan doesn't necessarily mean healthy, right? Because Oreos are vegan. You know, again, like I said, rice is vegan. Too much rice is not good for black people, period. Starch, it breaks down into sugar, which is why a lot of men who eat a lot of fucking rice, and myself included, we got love handles, the shit sits right here. Right. That's what the sugar breaks down to, it stays right there, right? So the goal for me is to be more plant-based, right? Whole foods, plant-based. It's just like fuel for your body, so I just want to put the best fuel. So grains, right? Quinoas, couscouses, amaranth, you know, things like that. Obviously, you could do your cauliflowers, you know what I mean, eggplants, squashes. Squashes are really good. So you can. People have issue with vegan. They're like, oh, I don't want to lose weight. I haven't lost weight yet. You know what I mean? I'm still in shape, and I'm vegan. I haven't had meat in 10 years.
And you live this diet every day. Every
day, yeah. It's a lifestyle for me. It's not like just sometimes. It's not like. Now, mind you, it's a challenge, right? So they put this chemicals. I forgot what it's called in cheese. I think it's like casein, right? It's an addictive chemical. So cheese was the hardest thing for me to let go. Yeah. Cheese is the hardest thing for most people to let go, even when they change their diet. You know what I mean? Because the shit is, it tastes good, it feels good, and it has these fucking chemicals in it that makes you addicted to it. Yeah. So it took me like, I would say like maybe just 3 years ago now. 3 years ago, maybe 4, that I haven't had like regular mac and cheese. Because even when I stopped eating meat, I wouldn't eat it regularly, but like if I was high and I was at my mom's crib, I was at an event and they had it, I would eat it because I grew up eating it. And it's comfort food. Food is, we eat food not only to live, a lot of us, particularly, I mean all around the world, we eat food for comfort. We eat food based on memories that we had with our grandparents or our parents, and oh, my dad used to make this. Like cheesecake was another thing it was really hard for me to get rid of, because me and my dad used to travel a lot, like I said, and we used to see which city had the best cheesecake.
Oh, that's crazy.
And so now I change my diet, but I get emotional when some shit has happened. I'm like, I'm gonna give me a cheesecake. Yeah. Think about my dad. So we emotionally eat. You know what I mean? But it's like gaining control over that discipline. And I think that, you know, it's like a Indian religion, right? Hindu. In Vedic traditions, they talk about there are 3 things that kill men. Is what we put in our mouths, what we put in what comes out of our mouth, right? The words we speak, what we put in our stomach, what we eat, and what we do with our loins, like how much sex we have with the wrong people. You know what I mean? Those are 3 moles that defeat men. And it's like, if I can control what I eat, you know what I mean? I can control everything else. Because that's the easiest thing, is to eat anything. If I can control that, I can start controlling what I say, start controlling who I sleep with, and then that's when you rise as a man, right? And I think Nipsey Hussle spoke about it. God bless. Lauren London gave him the book, Where I Become the Best Version of Myself. And I know that I've learned that because I've seen, again, my dad died from cancer. I lost 3 siblings now, all different forms of cancer. Grandfather diabetes. A 20-year-old friend, George, died of an enlarged heart from Queensbridge, right? We're killing each other crazy. And it's like, what's the common denominator? It's what we eat.
What we eat, damn, but that's all mental, like.
Mental, it affects mental health, right?
Yeah, not even that. You gotta have that mental
strength.
Energy to eat healthy, like, and do healthy things and be positive, but shit's hard.
Now it's tough, especially like in the hood, like, cause we're not raised like that. We don't have the education about how food affects us, and then when we do get the education, we gotta trash that supermarket.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like, but they create this shit on purpose, right? This is all part of the systemic oppression that they create for us. In food, they use food as biological warfare, chemical warfare. This shit is, you can research this shit in history. There's times when they gave certain people certain foods to keep them docile, to make them weak, to make them not be able to be strong and not be warriors. So it's like, if we want to rise above, we got to get rid of all of this slave shit. You know what I mean? Not just whatever, like all of it. Not just the religion, how we eat, how we think. Get rid of this shit and let's really rise up and be God's here on earth.
Yeah, right. Because I've seen you in the community a couple times, like with the harvest,
City harvest.
And that's dope. Everybody taking a little bit of time out, making sure everybody come down, get the fresh produce. That's what's up, though.
You gotta take care of each other, man. Like, again, like, it's Maya Angelou who said it best. She said, what I get, I give. What I learn, I teach. And so, like, I learned something. I learned something that has helped me. Like, at 38 years old, I'll be 39 in 3 months. I promise you, I feel better than I did at 25. I feel better than I did at 18. I'm stronger, I'm faster, I'm sharper. I sleep better, you know what I mean? I wake up better, you know what I mean? Sex life is better. Like, every part of my life is better. I'm attracting more money, you know what I mean? I made more money in the last 3 years than I made in the previous 10. Right? All that is vibration is how you vibrate.
High vibes. Yeah.
High vibes. How do you vibrate? And I just want to vibrate at the highest level so that I can have the best life I can have. And then let my life, you know what I mean, help others, influence others.
Alright, so backtrack again.
Yes, sir.
What about that? Is that traffic?
Traffic lane?
Traffic lane, yeah. So how you get up with that? What's that about?
Traffic lane is cool, man. Friend of mine's Jermaine Smith, filmmaker from Brooklyn. He got a couple of things under his belt. I think he got a feature film on Amazon Prime right now called A Piece of Me. Right, did that a couple years ago. But so again, I've been acting my whole life, and he knows that. I was an extra in A Piece of Me. I starred in one of his short films, and so he texted me and was like, "Yo, you still acting?" I was like, of course, I'm never gonna stop acting. He's like, yo, I'm writing a role. I think it'd be perfect for you. So then, he sent me the script like 2 days later. I read the script, I agreed to it, right? And as I'm studying the character, as I'm building the character, I'm like, I asked him, I texted him, I said, yo, because when he started filming it like 6 years ago, he started as a series, right? So making a series, and then he changed it into a feature-length film. And so I asked him, I was like, yo, did any character in Traffic Lane ever have an eye patch? He was like, nah, but if that's what you're gonna do, go for it. And so I was like, you know what, I'm gonna be a traffic agent with a fucking eye patch, one-eye traffic agent. You know what I mean? And I did it, and we did it. And hopefully, everything goes right. The film will be done by March, and we'll do a screening, a release, and it'll be lit.
You can tell me more about your character?
Character is Hodges, traffic agent, kind of like a, how you say it, like, so in the agency, there's some crooked shit going on. You know what I mean? And I'm one of the cops who know, I'm one of the traffic agents who know about the crooked shit. Like, we hiding tapes, like, we giving people false tickets, we towing people's cars that don't deserve to be towed. We doing fucked up shit. We doing fuck shit to get money. You know what I mean? And so that's it. And I just played one of those characters. One of those traffic agents who's on the fuckery side of things, trying not to get caught.
And that's all with networking right there.
It's all networking.
So how you feel about networking? You feel like
networking is, yeah, what you say?
I feel like people in the community, because there's a lot of young talent out here. If everybody networks and use their resources, do you feel like we could build something strong?
100%.
Because everybody has their own little niche, like, you know what I'm saying?
100%. That is, you gave me goosebumps, because that's literally what I've been working towards. My baby, my company, Queensbridge Studios, right?
Yeah,
is
a
independent film, TV, multimedia studio, right? Newspapers, magazines, radio shows, podcasts, films, commercials, skits, commercials of different companies out here, different businesses, hotels. That's all I want to do. Music videos, fashion shows. Because, and it's been said, everybody knows that Queensbridge is probably the single most talented neighborhood in the world, right? But because it's so talented and so many people, everybody's doing their own thing, and that's cool. But at some point, we gotta, as much as we can, mesh, bring shit together. You know what I mean? Bring it together so that, because I believe wholeheartedly, it's an African proverb that says, like, if you want to go fast, go alone. But if you want to go far, go together. And I want to go far. And I know that I'm great, but my greatness means nothing if I don't lift up my brothers and my sisters who are also great. You know what I mean? So what you're doing is extremely important, is using your talent, using your gift to shine light on others. And we just got to figure out how do we bring it together.
Yeah, so I was saying, what we'll do is learn how to bring it together and figure it out.
But networking is everything, bro. Like, again, an old saying, your network determines your net worth, right? And so understand that, like right now, I'm in a great position where I'm like 1, 2 texts away from everything I need. You know what I mean? From the small things to the biggest things. All right. And so yeah, man, networking is. I like to call myself the network king. You know what I mean? Because I got like really like elected officials. You know what I mean? We got elected officials, we got athletes, we got entertainers, we got street people still. You know what I mean? This is my people. We got white people from over here coming out to Queensbridge to help give out food and clothes, and it's like together we rise. Like that's my motto. Like together, right? Together we rise. We ain't gotta all like each other all the time, but if we could respect each other and work together in a common goal, then I think we'll be okay.
Yeah, I seen you post something about to vote for you to be a pitch or something.
Yeah. So again, I'm an entrepreneur at Queensbridge Studios. Ron Artest, formerly Ron Artest, Meta World Peace, started this pitch thing with this company called Orbit. And so Meta is into investing and stuff like that. So they created a $25,000 pitch competition for entrepreneurs and visionaries. And so I submitted last week. And it's, it's for Queensbridge Studios. It's like $25,000 to invest in this vision in this company so that we could build. Because again, I'm from Queensbridge. Silver Cup Studios is right across the street. Yeah. We've never had access to Silver Cup Studios. And it's like, that's horrible, because how many lives could have been changed and could have turned out differently if we would have had access to a film studio where, and again, everybody's not going to be in front of the camera, everybody's not going to be the actor, everybody's not going to be the rapper, but you need sound techs, you need engineers, you need fucking audio technicians, you need freaking light technicians, you know what I mean? You need editors, you need all types of creative people, you need location scouts, you need fashion designers, you need stylists. So it's like, right? And then for certain projects, you need painters, you need artists, right? You need sewers. You need who we are. We need us. And so that's all I want to create, is a platform for as many of us as possible to thrive.
So good luck on that, man.
Appreciate you, brother.
Anything else you want to say before we close out?
Oh man, number one, right? As Black people, I think we have to do a better job at sticking together, right? And sticking together doesn't always mean agreeing, right? But sticking together means not embarrassing your family, right? Or not. So it's like, we got this issue right now, right? We got this huge topic, Kanye, Kyrie, right? Brittany Griner coming out of prison, right? We got so many things, right? Black people are the faces the last month and a half, 2 months of so much controversy.
Always the faces. Right?
Of so much controversy. And what hurts me is that we're family. And you remember hearing what goes on in this house stays in this house? Yeah. Right? That's a gift and a curse, because it's like, because of that saying, there are people who have been raped by their family who haven't said anything, right? That's fucked up. You should absolutely, if you're getting raped, you should tell somebody. Don't keep that shit to yourself, right? However, when we got issues like with, Kanye, Kyrie, and Brittany Griner, even if you don't agree, you shouldn't be slandering them on social media in front of the open fucking enemy. At some point, we gotta have conversations amongst us, right? And that's what I want us to get to a point where we understand that we're family, and even if it's a brother or sister who's living a life or who are doing things or saying things that you don't agree with, you don't embarrass them in front of the fucking enemy, right? Like, there's people who really hate our existence and who are doing everything they can to kill us and castrate us and keep us in poverty, and then we're helping that and saying, trade Kanye for a white person. Hell no. Like, don't do that shit. If you don't like what the brother's saying, figure out how to address him privately. Yeah. Right? And so, as Black people, I just want us to stick together, man, because whether we like to believe it or not, it's a war, and it's been a war. You know what I mean? It's been a war against Black people. It's been a war against the indigenous, original people, all over the fucking planet. And it's like, at some point, I just really want us to understand that, stick together, and fight, and understand that the most important way to fight is using your mind. You know what I mean? Not your hands. Because we're not in a position to win right now. Like, these motherfuckers got freaking weapons that silently they could wipe out a whole fucking neighborhood.
That's facts though.
So it's like, let's not be stupid. Let's not rush and I'm ready to fight. It's like, we're not ready to fight. We're still arguing with each other on social media about shit that's like, it might matter, but it's like, come on. On the grand scheme of things, how important is this shit?
Yeah. One more thing.
Yes, sir.
What's urban vegan?
Urban vegan kitchen and urban vegan roots, right? So in 2020, when I started giving out the vegan food out here, connected with Urban Vegan Kitchen restaurant in Manhattan. The owner is from Queens, you know what I mean? And so as we met and started talking, you know, he was like, yo, you know, I would love to open a spot in Queens. And myself and Miles, Hollywood, he was like, yo, is Matt spots open in our neighborhood and around our neighborhood? And him and his team, they did their work, they did their research, they found the spot in Astoria, and so we locked in. And so what I love about them is that as a restaurant, right, they're a business, so they gotta focus on making money, right, to stay open. But their whole focus is about community.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Which is why, like, we work, you know, and the food that we were getting from them in 2020, 2021, it was through another organization that was paying for it. So it wasn't like they was donating it for free. Organization was paying for it, and then they was giving it to us, and we was able to give it out for free. But now we do an event there. We do a monthly vegan parlay there every, I think, second Wednesday, where we just have different discussions, different social issues, how we relate different social issues to veganism. That's monthly. They have open mics there, man, artist showcases. And anybody in the community, like, if you want us to do an event there, you could go kick it with the owner and talk. They advertise, yo, if you have any community idea events, let us know. We'll be happy to host them.
I'm gonna chop in with them and see what's going on.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And lastly, this is my brand, SR, Sustain Resilience. You know what I mean? And the whole message is like, we're already born resilient. You know, resilience is just the ability to push through any circumstance, no matter what, and focus on the goal. And I'm like, we're already resilient. We just gotta sustain our resilience. And if we can sustain our resilience, eventually we'll get to the place that we're going. That's it.
So where they can find you on social media?
Yo, welcome to the club. That's you, welcome to the club. But on social media, on Instagram is sugaray4506. That's Sugaray 4506. Same as Twitter. TikTok is the same. Facebook is Sugaray, SUGA space RAY. And my website is LaShawnMarston.com, LASHAWNMARSTON.com. And you can find me, you can find my documentary. I need to start making some updates about all the stuff that's happening. But there's a lot going on, man. Tap in, tune in. Welcome to the club.
Yeah, all right, man. Good luck.
Appreciate you.
Mm-hmm.